remember the first time that I had a crush on a boy that I knew was wrong for me. It was the 5th grade, and it was my 2nd year in a row starting the school year in a brand new school. I had moved to Virginia the year before, and I got into the gifted program in the 5th grade. And there was this boy, and I saw him, and my brain said, you are gonna like this boy, but you need to not like this boy. We cannot like this boy. And I don't know what it was that made me think that, but of course I ended up liking this boy. I liked him for the rest of that school year until at the very end we were put into a project together, and I did not like how immature he was. Yes, we were both in the 5th grade, but I still could tell he was quite immature. Fast forward to college, because for some reason in middle school I never had this experience. I had plenty of crushes, but I didn't have this particular experience. And then in high school, I realized that boys were immature and I didn't have very many crushes at all. But in college, enter wrong boy number 2. I met him in a class that we had together that I took just to check off a requirement. And we ended up sitting together for pretty much the whole semester, plus another friend of mine who is a girl actually. And it was clear as day that this boy was not for me. Our values were way different from each other, but my little heart just couldn't help but have the biggest crush on him. And it didn't help that he, did tell me that I was one of his best friends, and we would call each other and random things, but that was just totally wrong, and we never really kept in contact after that semester ended, and maybe that's a good thing. At this point, I probably should stop using the word boy because, I was in college and now they're technically men. So man number 3, this man I went on a date with, and I remember coming back and I would Snapchat my friends at this point. This was right at the end of college, and me and my friends were kind of going our separate ways, and so we would just send each other Snapchat videos. That's how we stayed in contact. And I remember sending a Snapchat to my friend and saying that, yeah, this guy is not Catholic, so it's probably not gonna end up in marriage. And boy, was I wrong. And I really shouldn't laugh. I guess you could say it's nervous laughter because I laughed again. But unlike boy number 1 and boy/man number 2, by the end of my time with boy number 3, I knew why I had felt that way at the beginning. And that meant that I absolutely had to heal, because at this point, there's some pattern, right, that is leading me to like these people that I just know are not right for me. And for some reason, I can't seem to stop myself. And I do want to mention that it actually had nothing to do with whether or not he was Catholic, because I'm sure that there are people in the exact situation that I was in where both people are Catholic or both people have the same faith or whatnot. But there was just definitely something to that thought. And man, oh man, did I do everything in my power to heal. I went to therapy. I did life coaching. I journaled. I was able to, be in contact with other people who I could share my story with and heal alongside because they'd been through the same things as I had. And the real challenge came when man number 4 came into the picture. Now, the difference with man number 4 is that technically this is someone that I shouldn't date for multiple reasons, and I'm not going to go into the details of that because I would just be giving away way too much. But it was more than just on a personal level of this shouldn't happen, but that was the biggest factor for me. Man number 4 really started to make it clear for me what the pattern was, why it was that I had what we call limerence with boy number 1, boy/man number 2, and man number 3. I had been doing all of this healing, right? And so I became so aware of what it was that I wanted in someone if I ever was going to be with someone again, and also what I didn't want. And with man number 4, there was just this strong attraction that I could not seem to break. I would go through cycles of okay, I know he's not good for me. I'm not going to like him. And then the next week later, I'd be like, okay, nope. I think I like him again. But it was just on that I don't know if visceral is the right word, that visceral level. It wasn't deeper. And it wasn't deeper because I didn't really know this person. And that's kind of where the problem lied, because this person person was very emotionally unavailable. He showed no interest in getting to know me, actually made me feel quite uncomfortable with, trying to open up with him, and I never really felt safe to, and yet there was still something that kept pulling me to him. Oh, and by the way, all of this limerence that I've been, building up is not actually the main point of this story. Me being able to just say, okay, I'm absolutely done with this. I know this is wrong for me, and just like cut it off and move on. That would have been, the great healing, the great like triumph, right? In all of this, I actually got over it because I found people who showed me better, who showed me that I could have something better. And that's a story for another video. But point being is I still see that I have healed from that, or at least in this circumstances. There may be more challenges that come up in the future in the form of man 5 and man 6 and man 7. Hopefully not, but you never know. But if you've ever tried to heal from anything or gone through any healing in your life, then you probably know that healing is not linear. It's not clear. It's not easy. Sometimes you think you've healed and you'll go a long period of time where you don't fall into old ways or feel old horrible feelings, but then something will happen and you'll feel like you're right back at square one. And this is where I introduce grief into this story, because grief is a huge thing that happens when you're healing, and it's not necessarily, oh, somebody died grief. It's my hopes and dreams died because you thought your life was going to look a certain way, and then you realize, oh, this isn't good for me. I have to end it, and now my life can't look like that. Or you think you have something amazing that you've always had, and then you start to realize, oh, this is not actually good for me. And that's what I've been experiencing lately. That made me want to talk about this because I had been doing so good. I had finally gotten over man 4, and then something else hit with someone else in my life. And this is where the limerence doesn't even matter, because it doesn't necessarily have to be an attraction to someone that you like in that way. It can also be just the ending of life as you knew it, maybe as you've always known it, or you always thought it was going to be. And as you keep healing, you keep coming upon this. You start seeing it everywhere in your life, where maybe, a friend you had, maybe you realize they're not actually that healthy for you, or maybe your workplace isn't a good place for your well-being either. And these things pop up and you never really can see them coming. But just like with man 4 for me, what matters and where the true healing lies is in being able to finally see what the pattern is. And with each thing that comes up, you can recognize, oh, this is not healthy for me. You can listen to your body and hear it tell you, okay, I'm feeling tired when I get into this space, or I feel sick in my stomach, or whatever the case is. And you start actually listening instead of just blocking it out. And then you can act on it and make changes for the better for yourself. And then with those changes, just like I have, you'll start to see the beauty of this heartbreak of healing. Because while you may be going through heartbreak after heartbreak, it's actually leading you to a beautiful life. And for me, that's a life that looks more beautiful than what I ever even imagined that it could for me. Because before all of this, I was living life as I knew it, in the same patterns that forced me to heal in the first place. It's time to finish this wall for now, because there's still more to do. And I've got the goods right here. We got our little cubes. I had 2 already. We got 2 more. And you already saw the process, so I'm not really going to show you. But the next thing you'll see will be this complete wall. Again, not complete. You know what I mean? Okay, y'all. And it is complete. That is the final product for now. I still need to put plushies in there. Let me know what plushies you think I should put in there, because honestly, I hadn't thought that far. I knew I wanted these 2 in here, but I haven't even thought of what I want up there. So let me know what you think I should put in there. I really like it because I was thinking oh, it kind of looks like a pyramid, but no, it actually looks more like a cloud, and I love that. It's so cute. Yeah, there's it with my desk as well. We love it, we love it. Well, hello friends. If you are in need of a random recommendation, then I have a great one for you. And the random recommendation for today is a lovely book called The Other Bennett sister. And if you love Pride and Prejudice, you're gonna love this one. It follows the story of Mary, the middle sister. And if you know, you know. She's not really that much of a character in the original book. And so we get to see her life and her love story play out, because maybe she does have one. You never, did you ever think that she might have had one? I never even like thought anything of it, but hey. I loved it, and like I said, if you like Pride and Prejudice like I do, you're gonna love this book, I promise you. I'm so glad that I already introduced you guys to The Wrong Men numbers 1 through 4, because I think that's gonna help you understand my poem, The Heartbreak of Healing, a bit better. Usually I feel like with poems, it's not really great to have it explained to you. Like that's kind of goes against the whole point of poetry. But when I wrote this poem, I had like the idea in mind, but when I actually wrote the poem, I don't know that I did the best job in making it clear. Like I get it when I read it, I can differentiate like what I'm talking about, but I feel like someone else reading might not fully be able to clarify who I'm speaking about. So I have some visual representations for you guys. Let me show you. So this is gonna be me, although I don't know if we need this character. But then this is gonna be man number 3, and this will be man number 4. Okay, got that? 3, 4, and me. The Heartbreak of Healing. When I thought I knew, I was young and naive. When I thought I grew, I realized it was true. True, but to the extent of young and naive. True until days were spent and nights came and went. Went away with my dreams, so young and naive. Went away, it would seem, with nearly all of me. Because there you were, me, young and naive. Because I felt a stir, but it was only a blur. Now I see more clear, less young, less naive. Now I see you're here, but this time I don't dare. Dare go all the way, once young and naive, dared to let you play. With my heart, it withered away. And away I depart. Goodbye, young and naive, and away as I chart new ways for my self-broken heart.